So that was sure fun yesterday with Aristocobb and his son Seth at the Markwell Men's Breakfast Club. That was good fun. Actually, you know, that is kind of the essence of the YouTube pipe community, if you ask me. Doing that, I felt like I was fulfilling the reason I make videos, which is to have a conversation and smoke. And, you know, they're just such great hosts. It was really great. It was so much fun. Yeah, I wish, I just didn't realize how Skype would just suck my battery dry on my phone. And it's kind of an older battery anyway. So, and it wasn't fully charged. And that's my fault. You know, I'll know better next time. And I have a new battery for it that I ordered, but I watched a video on how to do it, and it's like, there's kind of stuff involved with that. So, kitty, come here. I hear you. So I'm on the sunny side of the guest house up here in the woods, and it is just a beautiful day. So I'm smoking Peterson house pipe, a straight. It's a fishtail, not a pea lip. This is the first Peterson I ever bought on eBay. Let's see, how do you do that? Nice big bowl. You can see the silver is just tarnished as heck. I don't care. So they're called house pipes apparently because if you're a leprechaun, this is a huge pipe. And so you would have to stay in the house because you'd have to constantly be holding the pipe. I asked when I was in Sallynoggin, and that's what the guy said. So he didn't say anything about leprechauns, just that, you know, they're big pipes, and so people would smoke them indoors because they're too big to just kind of hang on your mouth. So, but speaking of that, somebody said, left a comment and said, I'm sorry, I forget who, without looking. So how do you clench and talk at the same time? You know, he said, I end up sounding like I have a pipe in my mouth. And so, I don't know, it's just natural to me to do it this way. I always have, right from the beginning. So I don't, I know it's kind of rough in here for you. It's kind of all crinkly with leaves and ferns and whatnot. But come on over here. Kitty. Yeah. Oh, God. She has kind of a voice that yells. Come here. So right from the beginning, I was a clencher, you know? And so that's why these vinyl bit covers, can you see them? Yeah. So Flieger 671, a guy in Sweden, I think up north somewhere. Very early on, he mentioned, hey, you should try vinyl tubing. So it's his idea, it's not mine. But darn it, it works great. So it gives you just the perfect amount of chew, you know, softness. And it does allow you to clench hard enough that you can hold the pipe in your mouth. So even a big pipe like this, it is just no problem. So you want to come up here? Come here. Come on. Come on. Oh God, the claws. Jesus Christ. So say hello. Yes. Okay. Good enough. So settle down and get on with this. Yeah. So yeah, just from the beginning, I've always kind of been that way. Because I like to be doing things with my hands and have the pipe in my mouth and be smoking gently, you know. And so the vinyl bits help, bit covers, let's say. This is a vulcanite bit, but you know, it's kind of oxidized and just, ugh. So it would probably taste like I was licking a Michelin car tire if I didn't have the vinyl tubing on there. So it keeps, you know, that sulfury, nasty vulcanite taste out of your mouth, and it's just so much softer, you know. So I attribute it to the softy bit. Some people who I've given pipes to with the vinyl bit on it, they'll say, God, that's such a big mouthful, you know, with the vinyl bit, because it is thicker. Can you see that? Probably not. Oh hell, I don't know. Anyway, it works for me. So if it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, just as great. Whatever. But I think that is kind of the key. If I didn't have this vinyl bit on here, or even a rubber softy bit, it would be a lot harder to clench this pipe because it's hard, you know, and you'd have to clench it pretty hard. And yeah, I know. And so, what do they say in Italian gangster movies? Shut up. So I think that's kind of my secret. But honestly, it's just the way I smoke a pipe. So I found even on those few pipes that I can't fit the vinyl tubing to because it's such a weird freaking shape. You know, it's like a fishtail that goes like that, or it's one of those ones that's really thick, super styling, and it boom comes down to the button, you know, and so it's just like button and then big, and that doesn't work very well either. So on those pipes, which I don't smoke very much, I got to admit, I have a 7L like that and a few others, you know, the Italian pipes mostly, because they're kind of like styling. Too much, you give up too much style to function. I know. Isn't that the truth? That was kind of successful. Okay. So, yeah, there's a few pipes where you can't do that. And I can grip those, but I'm kind of hard on the bits. So, anyway, it's just practice, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't really practice for me because it's like, honestly, that's just how I like to smoke. So, you know, here, do you want to come up here? Yeah, there you go. Maybe you'll shut up there in that position. Yeah, all right. So we're still sequestered at home, and that's going to go till May 4th in Washington State. So I do get out a little bit, and I'm going to have to head down to, whoa. See, now there's a risk when you're distracted, like by the cat. You gotta I'll knock my pipe out of my mouth. So I have some jobs to do. I've had some requests. Come on, off. You always make it sound so much worse than it is. So I'm going to go in, but I like to go in when there's nobody there, and there's not supposed to be anybody there, but there always is. Because I work with a lot of people who are like me, who like their job, you know, and they like to do it. And so they miss not doing it. And so, you know, they're in there doing what they're doing. Mostly biologists, fisheries biologists or shellfish biologists, planning for digs or whatever. So, I mean, it's legit that they're in there, but I can tell they're slightly freaked out with somebody else in there, like me. So I tend not to do that. There was a good article from Campbell Teaching on YouTube on some new research on how many people have been asymptomatic but had the virus, coronavirus. So herd immunity is going to be quicker than we think, probably. So we'll see if we get extended past May 4th. I think, you know, people want to get the economy back running. Please, yes. So there's a lot of pressure to do that. We'll see what happens. But research is needed and testing is needed to get those numbers. You know, I mean, how else would you know? You were asymptomatic. How do you know you had the virus? Well, you get the antibody test, and it tells if you've had the virus. You know? I mean, it's simple, but that just doesn't seem to be a big priority for some reason. I don't know. You'd think in a country with the big pharma and medical research and manufacturing might, even though we've outsourced a lot of that, okay, that we could come up with tests and distribute them very widely and just do the damn thing and figure it out. Get the data to make some decisions here. But hey, that's just me, right? So, oh no, I didn't tell you what I'm smoking in here. So this is Cornell and Deal's Star of the East, a tin that dates from 2008. So, 12 years old. And it is much smoother than I remember it. I remember it being kind of edgy, but you know, it's good. The Latakia is kind of in the background, which is fine. Anyway, I like these big bowl pipes. I'm a big guy, so, you know, if I smoke a dinky little pipe, it looks like something's out of scale. It's like those people with their head is too small for their body, you know. So I kind of like a big pipe. And, I don't know, they work for me. Now, there can be too big. I have a couple of those. Actually did videos on them before, because one's a Mario Grande, famous for like overly styled, overly big pipes, but great value. And then the other one is, what, I got it at the Chicago show last year. I forget, it's kind of a stupid name, but the pipe is actually quite nice. The wood is quite nice, but it's so damn big. What I'm going to do is probably have or find a bit that I can fit on there that's a much shorter curve bit. It's like a half bent, maybe a 3/4 bent, and a big bowl. And I like the bowl. I just don't like the bit very much. It's too long, man. The pipe ends up being, you know, really long. I like a shorter, stubbier, thicker pipe. That's just my thing. And this is kind of long too, to tell you the truth. I would sort of like it if it just had a stubby little bit on it. But you want a house pipe? This is how they come. And this is the Rocky Rustication. You can get them smooth. I've got a smooth one too that I picked up at in Dublin, actually, at their shop. But I kind of like the rustication. It just feels so nice in the hand, you know. And I like the way it looks too. They're a little cheaper too, so probably inferior wood. So how do you clench? Well, I hate to throw my match out. I'm not going to do that. In fact, I'm going to keep it on my chair because lots of dried leaves here. It's been a solid couple of weeks since we've had rain up here in the Pacific Northwest, and there have been some brush fires locally. So we don't want that to be me. No siree. So anyway, clenching, you just determine to do it, right? You just make a decision, I am going to do that. And so I'm going to practice it. And I normally use my left side of my mouth. I never do that in the middle. Because we can't talk, right? Yeah. And the right side works well too. It's not, I'm just not as, I'll do it for variety, move it over to the right side. But I always end up coming back to the left. That's kind of my primary side. Like you're right-handed or left-handed. I'm left-mouthed. So. Yeah, these house pipes, I like these. They're just, they feel like the right size for me. They're just kind of the perfect size. So, I wish they had more variety in them. You know, a few different shapes and stuff. And they do, if you look on eBay, you know, you can find them. This one, as I remember, was pretty well smoked, and I had to really dig the cake out, because I'm not a big cake guy. And some guys, god dang, well, and it's probably they smoke aromatics in them, and they're just like build up cake in a hurry, you know. And then there's barely room for tobacco in there. There's so much cake. So. And straight pipes are easier to take care of. You know, you can run a pipe cleaner, boom, right through there, and sometimes those, especially the deeper 3/4 or 5/8 bent pipes, you know, the steep, not a Noom Paul, but almost. It's like the drilling kind of happens at an angle in there. So your pipe cleaner's running down and it goes bonk, because the rest of through the shank, you know, it's going off at an angle. So you have to take the pipe apart to run a pipe cleaner through there. And sometimes when you're in the middle of a smoke, especially with a big bowl, you don't want to be taking your bit off the shank, because you could break the tenon off. Don't ask me how I know. I only did it once. Tim West repaired it very nicely, but you just don't want to do that while the pipe's warm, be taking it apart. So I'm going to have to be a little bit of a mechanic. I'm not naturally that way. I wish I was. You know, I wish I was one of those mechanically fearless guys. But I just wasn't raised in that kind of a household. I tried to be. I have some failed projects on a fairly major scale that did not come back together well. So, and I'm just not really a machinist mind. We have the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. More locally, we have Boeing. We have a variety of high precision manufacturing that supports all that. And so there are some engineer types and so forth around, machinist type people. Dang, I admire those guys. You know, they just are like, oh, here, give me that, and then make it perfect. You know, that's a real talent, I think, and it's I appreciate it. Hopefully, everybody else does too. Sometimes it comes with kind of strange personalities, but you know, aren't we all? So, so the carburetor on the DR mower, the old DR mower, is not passing fuel, and so I'm sure it's a float issue with the needle, you know, attached to the float. So I went online. Luckily, everybody makes a video about everything, you know, and so there's multiple videos, mostly of these machinist type guys or these crazy backyard mechanic guys taking apart everything, you know. And so it gives you a hint of what you're into and what you're going to run into. And so that's good. That's half the battle, psychologically. So so that's in my future. I did order a new carb just because it was only 15 bucks, including shipping. So we'll see how that works. So if I do really mess it up, I can throw that new carb on there and hopefully it'll run. Because it's getting to be that time of springtime where I need to be mowing. Yeah, the Star of the East is, even with all the age on it, which mellows it, You know, it's just kind of a typical English, really. Not bad, not bad. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's good. It's satisfying. I'm a terrible tobacco reviewer. Sorry about that. We talked about that yesterday with Markwood. So, it's okay. Let the other guys do the tobacco reviews. Some people really do those well. What? What do you want? Huh? What do you want? All you can do is talk and roll. What? You're good at that. Yes, you're very good at rolling. Yeah.